Magandang gabi po, Pilipinas. Good evening to all our viewers from the Philippines and around the world. We also have some viewers right now from Doha and mostly from the Philippines, as I see on the comment section. So if you're new to this webinar, this is actually our 9th webinar since we started in June. So if you're new, I'd like to introduce myself first. I am Gani Celzo, and I currently teach here in Singapore. I have been teaching for 20 years, 4 years in the Philippines, 12 years in the US, and this is my 5th year now here in Singapore. So again, our webinar number 9 is entitled Math Review number 5 and Managing Teaching and Learning Through Effective and Efficient LMS, or that is the Learning Management System. Just like Rob said, for 20 years now, it has been my mission to be an advocate of education and the disadvantaged kids, particularly in remote areas in the Philippines. Last year, we have launched 3 different projects, and I'd like to thank all our avid supporters from the Philippines and around the world, especially my friends in the US, here in Singapore, and our UFW friends from around the world as well. Our first project is Lapis ng Pangarap. Let's watch this. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng supporters ng Lapis ng Pangarap campaign na inumpisahan namin last month. As of today, nakapagbigay na po tayo ng lapis at school supplies sa 23 schools, serving 6,571 students in Anda, Pangasinan.
So I see elevate almost like
gracias.
Balbalod na salamat.
Abaw, salamat. Salamat.
Naway makapagbigay ito ng pag-asa sa mga bata at sana'y patuloy silang mangarap para sa magandang bukas. Samahan niyo po ako sa adhikaing makaabot ang lapis ng pangarap sa iba't ibang sulok ng Pilipinas. Muli, maraming salamat po. Bakit po lapis ng pangarap? A boy used to stay after school searching for any pencils left under the chairs that he can still use. That boy is now teaching for 20 years, advocating for the most vulnerable kids, sharing pencils and school supplies through Lapis ng Pangarap campaign, sharing his life experiences in conquering poverty and insurmountable obstacles give hope and inspiration to students to reach for their dreams. Inspiring Minds, Transforming Lives is another project that he launched in the Philippines. And again, thank you to all the supporters of Inspiring Minds, Transforming Lives. The third project that I launched last year is We Are in This Together. And I initiated this to unite the community of 18 barangays We encountered a technical difficulty here in Singapore, but I will resume in about 2 minutes. My apologies. I want to say thank you to all our viewers from the Philippines that despite the internet connection there, you still are watching this webinar. So we're going to continue in a minute. All right, so we're back. Again, I want to apologize for the technical difficulty, and we're going to resume with the webinar for tonight. So the third project that I launched last year is We Are in This Together. And I initiated this project to unite the community of 18 barangays in Anda, Philippines, and supporters around the world to help in the construction of additional classrooms and creation of computer lab. With your support, we have raised a total of 473,000 pesos last year. Let's watch this.
Salamat po.
Thank you. Thank you.
Salamat po. Thank you.
Salamat po. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat po. Thank you. Salamat.
Maraming salamat po. Abawa, salamat.
Thank you. Salamat po.
All right. I think I'm still having an issue here in Singapore with the internet. It's weird what's happening right now. But again, I want to say thank you to all our supporters for those 3 projects that we launched last year. Also, if you're following Celzo Academy FB page, last Sunday, 3 days ago, we have launched the project for this year. And this is called Back to School 2020 Video Implementation Competition. This is open to both public and private school teachers. And I want to bring together the schools, the teachers, students, and the community in preparation for the school year 2020-2021. So the mechanics. for this competition is July 31, 2020. So you have about 2 weeks to complete this. And those are the 3 mechanics that you need to follow in submitting your entry. So it has to be a 3 to 5 minute video documenting your back to school activity. Make sure you submit that before July 31, 2020. And when submitting your video entry, make sure that you include your school name, location, and contact person. I have been doing this because of my teachers who really inspired me to become a teacher. I am who I am today because of my teachers who believed in me when I was in grade school, when I was in high school, and even college. So that's why after high school, I know that I'm going to be a teacher one day. And here I am, 20 years now in the teaching profession, and especially the teachers in the Philippines. I really salute you for doing your job, especially those teachers in the public school system. I know you have a lot of challenges ahead of you, especially that we're transitioning to blended learning. Internet connection is a huge problem. Resources for the students, and even the resources for teachers as well. So again, salute to all the teachers. And by doing this competition, we're trying to help the schools, the teachers as well. You can submit your entry as a school or individual teachers. You could do that. So the criteria, 60% will be based on social media votation, and 40% will be based on the scores of the judges. So if you want to know more information about this competition, please visit Celzo Academy FB page. Okay? So those are our 3 projects, and the 4th project that we are launching for this year. So if you would like to support, make sure you email me at celzoacademy@gmail.com, or you can message me through my FB Messenger at Gani Celzo. Also, at this time, you can support Celzo Academy by making sure that you follow or like the Celzo Academy FB page. All the certificates are posted on this FB page, so make sure you follow. And I usually, for this webinar, the certificates will be posted tomorrow at 8 p.m. And the second way that you can support Celzo Academy is by subscribing to my channel at Celzo Academy FB page. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so right now. And don't forget to click the bell button as well to get the latest videos. I also created the Celzo Academy review group because we have received several requests from our Filipino viewers who are taking the licensure exam for teachers in September, civil service exams, and the college entrance test. So that's why I created this group, Celzo Academy Review Group. And through this group, I will be posting, I've already posted some resources for preparation for the college entrance test, for the civil service exams, and also for the licensure examination for teachers. You can also use these resources in preparation for your classes this school year. Okay. Also, I created the Global Educators Group. This is an academic platform. I encourage teachers from the Philippines and our friends from around the world to join this Global Educators Group. And through this platform, we will be sharing some resources and instructional best practices and instructional resources as well. So again, please join those 2 groups, Celzo Academy Review Group and Global Educators. So for tonight's agenda, we will be focusing on learning the learning management system, or the LMS, in teaching and learning, because we know in the Philippines, you guys are transitioning to blended learning in August 24th. Here in Singapore, we actually transitioned to virtual learning last March, and it was a smooth transition for us from March to June. So I will be sharing some of my experiences as well during this webinar. And the main focus for tonight's webinar is for us to solve word problems involving pre-algebra, algebra, geometry, and also we have some questions on trigonometry. All right, so before we begin, I have also received some requests from our Filipino viewers on how to assess the students during virtual learning. I know in the Philippines, some are using modules or modular approach. It's blended learning. So the question is, how will you assess the students during virtual learning? So I'll give you time, maybe about a minute to think about this question. And I'd like you to comment in the comment box below so that we can hear from your insights and views as well. So how do you assess the students during virtual learning? So please comment below. And while you're doing that, I will be giving some shout outs to our viewers for tonight. The earliest audience that we have is Delia Umbay. She actually joined us at 5:31. So thank you, early bird. Thank you for watching. Robert, thank you for watching. Zinaida from Butuan. Feline from Doha, Qatar. Lane Ismail, thank you for watching. Don La Vega from Mindanao. Catalina from Marikina. Stella, thank you for watching. Myra. Anna May, Sion. Migs from Cebu. Maria Isa from Quezon City. Inelita Villanueva, thank you for watching. Leia Paringit from Dagupan. Jerwin, thank you for watching. Michael, Judith, and we will be giving more shout outs later. Robert from Pagadian, Maria, Rainiel, thank you for watching. Myrene from Occidental Mindoro. Rosalie from Las Piñas, thank you for watching. Maria Vilma from Dasma Cavite. Jerwin, thank you for your comment. Annabelle from Caloocan. Elena from Rojas, Palawan. And we have other viewers. I'm going to be mentioning those names later. Rosh from Caloocan, thank you for watching. Mogir from Quezon City. Sir Doc. All right, so one comment is from, I'm going to show it on your screen. So in the Philippines, you're going to do the assessment through blended learning and modular. That's true. So please put your comments in the comment section. We also have using short quizzes from Google Form. Yes, I've used that as well in my classes. This is comment from Filipinas Bugnot. Another insight from Karen, learners are responsive through quizzes. So yes, quizzes, it can be, hopefully you guys could do that online because of course you guys are doing blended learning. From Ed's Mercado, by giving them a specific to complex activity guided by their guardians. Yeah, in this transitioning to blended learning, we really need the cooperation of teachers to work with teachers, making sure that the students are learning at home. From Enelita Villanueva. In our place, we assess the students during virtual learning by using modular learning because we are in public school and based on the given survey by our division. I've learned also that in the Philippines, you guys are doing house to house to determine the most appropriate modality for the students, whether they're going to use modular approach or online learning. So based on the capability of the family, So really kudos to all our Filipino teachers who go to every houses and reaching out to the parents and the students. All right, and one more comment is exams given through LMS, or LMS stands for the Learning Management System. All right, so now I will be sharing my plans for the assessment plan that I use from March to June last school year. We are starting a new school year here in August the 3rd. But for me, we are receiving more feedback from our audience. So keep typing your comments and your ideas, and I will be sharing those information later. So again, just like what I've mentioned, here in Singapore, we transitioned to virtual learning last March, and we ran it for 3 months. And for 4 years now, we have been using Google Classroom as our platform in the regular classroom setting. And during virtual learning, we also use the Zoom as our platform to conduct synchronous teaching. When I say synchronous teaching, so this means that this is the same thing with the regular classroom setting, right? So the teachers and the students are online at the same time. So basically, the goal here is to make sure that the virtual learning experience is as close as possible to the regular classroom setting. So this is kind of like a face-to-face environment, and teachers can ask questions. I also do group work activities through Zoom by using the breakout rooms. So the groups of 4 or groups of 2 can be arranged before setting up your Zoom, or also you can do it while in the Zoom classes already. And I know in the Philippines, it looks like most of you will be using asynchronous online teaching because, of course, the limitations in the Philippines, right? A lot of families in the Philippines don't have the gadgets. Also, internet connection is an issue as well. So I think asynchronous online teaching is more appropriate in the Philippines. But here in Singapore, we have been using synchronous online teaching because we have a 1-to-1 laptop ratio here in Singapore. So that works well for us. In fact, when we transition to virtual learning, we have even higher percentage of attendance rates. We have about 99.9% attendance on our daily classes. And our daily classes are only for 55 minutes. So again, when I do virtual learning here in Singapore, we use Zoom and Google Classroom. And I have mentioned these 2 learning management systems in my previous video webinars as well. So try to explore that. Really powerful tool to facilitate your online class or even the traditional classroom setting. So make sure you explore Google Classroom. And if you're planning to use synchronous online teaching, make sure that you try Zoom as well. I will not recommend Google Meet right now because Google Meet is still in the process of updating their apps. So I'm hoping that they can update that before the opening of the school year, similar to the Zoom platform. Now, what about when administering assessments? Because this is the common question that I'm getting from the teachers in the Philippines. If you're doing modular approach or blended learning, how will you assess the students? That's a huge problem, right? One concern that we had when we implement virtual learning last March to June is the authenticity of the assessments. How sure are we that the students are not cheating, right, during virtual classroom? So make sure that you have some plans to use when implementing assessments during virtual learning. So one thing that I use for the formative assessments, of course, we are always using formative assessments and summative assessments. So for us here in Singapore, formative assessments do not affect the grades of the students. Only the summative assessments affect the grades of the students. So just like the regular classroom setting, formative assessments can be in terms of questioning or dialogue or just by observing your students, right? But that's not going to happen when you're doing virtual learning. It's going to be difficult to do, right? So for me, we use formal formative assessments. So for 4 years now, just like Rob said, I've been using Google Classroom for 4 years. And the assignments have to be posted on Google Classroom. So it's easier for me to check as well and monitor who did the homework, because that's the challenge also in the Philippines, right? Students don't do the homework. So one way to monitor that during the virtual learning is have the students submit their assignments or homework on Google Classroom. For me, that's really helpful in making sure that the students are working on the assignments or the homework to have student accountability. Also, the two platforms that I use for the formal formative assessments is IXL and Khan Academy platforms. I have mentioned and explained, we explored these two IXL and Khan Academy platforms also in our previous webinars. I really, really like these two platforms. The reason for that is I can get quick results of these formative assessments, and it allowed me to provide immediate feedback to my students. And I also use the notability, because in teaching math, it's really difficult to teach math without explicit instruction. Again, it's difficult to teach math without explicit instruction. So I use notability while doing Zoom. That way I can explain the problems on the screen and the students can follow along as I explain the problems. So that's one thing that you'd like to explore. And now for the summative assessments. For the summative assessments, I also use two things. One thing that I use is just like Rob said, Khan Academy and Elastic platforms. Now, how do we make sure that students are not cheating, right? They're not in the classroom. They are at home doing the assessment. So this is going to be really critical, making sure that the students are taking accountability and also taking ownership of the assignments, quizzes, or assessments that's assigned to them. So what I do during Zoom classes, I'm still a traditional classroom teacher. So when I hold a Zoom class and it's an assessment, I always ask my students to put away their phones all the way back, so they don't have access to their phones. And also, using the Khan Academy and Elastic, you can also set the time allotment. If you want them to have the test for 45 minutes or an hour, then you can set the time to that period only. And let's say you want to assign the assessment to them at 11 to 12, then you can change the setting to make sure that the students can access that only from 11 to 12. Also, the third thing that I use is through Khan Academy. By the way, Khan Academy is free, and it's a resource for math, science, English, social studies, all subjects, and it's free. You can create your classes, and you can assign quizzes, assignments, and assessments to the students. And the good thing about this is that you can assign questions that are very similar but different to every student. That way, students will not be cheating. That's why I like the Khan Academy platform, as I have explained in the previous webinar. Again, Khan Academy is free, and they have resources for all subjects from K to 12, even college as well. So please explore Khan Academy as a resource. And it is an excellent monitoring tool to make sure that the students are progressing in your class. Okay, so try to explore that. I noticed there's a question about IXL. IXL is good, but it is expensive. IXL can be accessed for free. However, it has limitations on the access. So you can still use IXL for free. And if you want individual account for your student, yes, I think it's about $10 per child. So in the Philippines, it's not sustainable. So I highly recommend that you use Khan Academy instead of IXL. So Khan Academy allows you to, again, create classes, assign quizzes. There's some video lessons. You can assign tests, different levels as well. So use those platforms to administer your assessments. All right. So those are the platform tools that I use for the assessments. Now, are you ready for the math questions? I hope that we have some math teachers here and students that are ready to learn some math questions. There's a question from Mugir before I continue. The question is Khan Academy free? Yes, Khan Academy po is free, and it includes all subjects: math, science, English, social studies, foreign language, college prep courses, and it's also covered from K to 12. So again, it's free, and try to explore that. All right, so for our math people, and also I tried to make these questions easier. That way you guys can participate in in answering the math questions as well. So these questions can be used to prepare for the LET exam, for the college entrance test, and also for the civil service exam. So here's our first question. You guys have 1 minute. Try to solve this problem and then type your answers in the comment section below. While you're doing that, I'm going to be giving shout outs again to our viewers. Thank you for watching. Honorata from Pampanga. Len. Delia from Abra, thank you for watching. Annalene, thank you for watching. Hilda has a question about the IXL. IXL can be accessed again for free, but with limitations on access. Again, I highly suggest Khan Academy. All right. So please try this math problem and type your answers in the comment section. Hello, Glenn from Malaybalay, Bukidnon. Vivian from Nara, Palawan. Thank you for watching. So if you have answers to the math problem, please type your answers in the comment section now. All right, so answers, I'm seeing answers now in the comment section. So thank you for participating in our math question number 1. All right, I'm seeing all right answers. The right answer to this question is, All right, the first one who got it right is Maria Isa Bersila, 42 square meters. So this problem involves a triangle and a rectangle. So in solving for this complex figure, we need to calculate for the area of a rectangle and then the area of a triangle, and then we're going to add them all together. So of course, the area of a rectangle is length times the width, which is 7 times 4. And for the area of a triangle, that's base times height divided by 2. So if you're taking the exam for LEP, civil service exam, and college entrance test, make sure that you memorize these formulas. So by substituting the values for the rectangle, that's 7 times 4, which is 28 meters square. And for the triangle, it's 28 divided by 2, which is 14. So we can add up the 28 square meters and the 14 meters square. So that's why the answer is 42 square meters. Okay? So thank you for participating for that question number 1. Here's our question number 2. What is the area of the trapezoid? Same thing, I'll give you 1 minute, about 1 minute to answer this question, and type your answers in the comment section below. Thank you, Ariel, for, I think you typed the first answer right. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Oh no, Maria Isel, actually Maria Isel and Ariel and Marianne, Lean, L'Oreal, you guys typed the answers at around 6:40. So again, thank you for getting the right answer. Okay, here's our question number 2. Type the answers now. Type your answer. Thank you for watching, Imelda from Rizal. And the answers, I'm seeing answers now in the comment section. So keep typing your answers, you guys. Thank you for participating. All right, I'm seeing a lot of answers now. The first person who got the right answer is Christine. And we have a lot of people who got the right answer. The right answer is letter H. So again, when calculating for the area of a trapezoid, make sure that you memorize the formula again. The formula for the area of a trapezoid is 1/2 times the height times the sum of the two bases. The base 1 and base 2 here are the sides that are parallel. Again, when we say base 1 and base 2, these are the two parallel sides of a trapezoid. So make sure that you remember this formula, 1/2 times the height times the sum of the bases. So in this problem, the height is 8 feet, and base 1 and base 2 are 16, and the other one is going to be 22 because you need to add the 6 and the 16. So plugging in those values into our equation, then we will have 1/2 times 8 is 4 times 38. That gives us 152 square feet. Okay, so we have a lot of viewers who got the right answer. So thank you for participating for that question number 2. Here's our question number 3. I'll give you 1 minute to solve this problem. Begin.
I don't understand. Siri, I'll give you 1 minute to solve this problem.
Thank you for participating, and you got the right answers. Rainiel, Leonida, Catalina, Teacher Mike, Mariela, Janeline, Lilybeth, Ruben, Emmanuel, Gemma, Sibel, Karen, Siri, Rowena, Taiza, Mary Ann, Elizabeth, Janet, Jolimi, Muger, Esther, Hilda, Janet, Ariel, Eds, Migs, Ruben, Lenolin, Marshall, Robert, Maria, Isa, Karen, Narlisa, and we have a lot more who got the right answer for question number 2. All right, so in answering for the area of this complex figure, there's 2 shapes. One, we have a rectangle, and the other one is a parallelogram. So again, it is a complex figure because it's a combination of 2 shapes. You need to find the area first of the rectangle and then the area of the parallelogram. So make sure you remember the formula for the area of a rectangle. That's length times the width. And of course, for the parallelogram, it's base times the height. Again, solving for the area, it's length times the width. And the area of parallelogram is base times the height. Okay, 15 more seconds, and then we're gonna explain this problem. All right, I think, okay, keep typing your answers. Keep typing your answers, you guys. I'm already seeing people typing the right answers, although for this question, I'm seeing multiple answers. So let's see who got the right answer for this question. All right, let's reveal the answer. The right answer to this question is, who got the first, I think the first person who got the right answer is Christine Castro. Christine Castro's answer is 81 square feet. All right, let's go over this problem. So just like Rob said, you need to find first the area of the rectangle below. So the rectangle here has a dimension of 9 feet and 5 feet. So to get the area for that, you can use base times height or length times width. It's the same thing. And for the parallelogram, be careful with parallelogram. We have 2 pairs of sides that are parallel, so that's why it's parallelogram. It's also base times height. So for the parallelogram, the base is 9 and the height is 4. So the area of a triangle can be solved by multiplying 9 times 5. And for the parallelogram, you need to multiply 9 times 4. So 9 times 5 is 45, and 9 times 4 is 36. And then just add the 2 areas. So 45 plus 36 is 81. So the answer for this question is 81 square feet. All right. So those are our 3 geometry questions. And before we continue with the next set of problems, if you want to get the e-certificates for this webinar, make sure you take note of this attendance verification code. The attendance verification code is LMS 715. It's case sensitive, so make sure when you're completing the attendance verification form, you type this carefully. It's again LMS 715. Okay. And throughout this webinar, I'm going to be showing this verification code 3 times. So take note of this code. Again, it's LMS 715. All right, those are the first 3 questions on geometry. So now we're going to do questions that involves order of operations. These questions are also common in college entrance test and civil service exam, and also the LET. These questions are really easy, but apparently people are always stumped on this type of questions. So make sure that you are using the correct order of operations. Okay. Some use the PEMDAS rule if you're using the American educational system. For Europe, they usually use the BIDMAS or BEDMAS or BIDMOS. But again, make sure that you simplify first, of course, the grouping symbols first. That includes either parentheses, brackets, or braces. And then you simplify the exponents. So grouping symbols is the first one. Exponents is next. And then multiplication or division from left to right. Make sure you do from left to right. And then lastly, adding and subtracting from left to right as well. All right. So here's our first question involving order of operations. By the way, this is Rally Coach is a good strategy when doing this in your regular classroom setting. So this is the setup that you can use. And the format is you usually provide questions for student A and then questions for student B also. And they have to be about the same difficulty level. Okay, so Rally Coach is a good strategy, which is called the cooperative learning structure to engage the students, whether it's virtual learning or traditional classroom setting. All right, so here's our first question involving order of operations. So again, you have about 1 minute to answer this question and type your answers in the comment section. Right? You may start typing your answers in the comment section. 5 times 4 minus the quantity 3 plus 1 squared divided by 2. And what's the answer to that problem? All right. So this is usually a type of question where a lot of people, 50% get it right, 50% got it wrong. So really, really important that you follow the correct order of operations. 15 more seconds. I know the live streaming is delayed for about 15 seconds, so I'll give you the time. So you could still type your answers in the comment section. Thank you for participating. All right, I'm seeing answers right now. The answers are split up 12, 2, 6, 0. Thank you for trying. 14. I really appreciate that you're trying. I know we have audience here also. There are not math teachers, but I know you could do it and you learn from this webinar in doing those problems. All right, so I think I'm going to reveal the first person who got the answer right. And that first person who got it right is Ariel Dibdib. Thank you for participating. And you got the right answer. The answer is 12. And let's watch this. This is another numerical expression problem, dividing the internet. What do you think is the answer to this expression? 5 times 4 minus the quantity 3 plus 1 to the second power divided by 2. In simplifying numerical expressions, we need to follow the following order of operations. First, simplify any grouping symbols, including parentheses and brackets. Next, we need to simplify the exponents. Then we need to multiply and divide from left to right. And lastly, we need to do addition and subtraction from left to right as well. In simplifying this expression, we need to follow the order of operations. First, we need to simplify the grouping symbol parentheses 3 plus 1. And 3 plus 1 is 4, so now we have 4 to the second power. I will copy the parentheses 5 times 4 minus 4 to the second power divided by 2. After simplifying the parentheses, it's a good idea to take out that parentheses afterwards. Now we need to simplify the exponent 4 to the second power. 4 to the second power means 4 times 4, and that is 16. So now we have 5 times 4 minus 16 divided by 2. After the grouping symbols, parentheses, and exponents, we need to simplify multiplication and division from left to right. So now we need to simplify 5 times 4, which is 20. The new expression is 20 minus 16 divided by 2. The common error in this problem is that people will subtract 20 minus 16 right away. That is an incorrect step. First, we need to do 16 divided by 2, which is 8. So now we have 20 minus 8. So the correct answer to this numerical expression is 12. All right, so the answer to that question is 12. Okay, 12, not 2. Before we continue with question number 2, again, I want to say thank you for participating in our webinars, and shout out to all math teachers of Agusan National High School from Butuan City. Thank you for watching. All right, here's our question number 2 on order of operations. Give it a try. Easy question, but again, a lot of people will miss this question. You have about 30 seconds to answer this, and I'm going to give you extra 15 seconds. Begin. 6 divided by 2 times the quantity 1 plus 2. What is the answer to this numerical expression? In fact, this question also went viral on social media, and a lot of people weighed in to this question, and it's a huge debate. And I'm seeing the answers right now on your screen. Mostly 1. We also have answers that are 9, and we also have 12. So the common answer to this question is 9 or 1. All right, so if you look at the comment section, we have about 50% said it's a 9, and 50% said it's about 50% also it's a 1. So what do you think is the answer to this problem? All right. So again, when simplifying order of operations, make sure that you simplify first the grouping symbol. Okay. So in simplifying this, the grouping symbol that you need to simplify first, the answer is 9. The first thing that you need to simplify here is the grouping symbol 1 plus 2. And of course, that is 3, right? So now we have 6 divided by 2 times 3. Now, the common misconception in this problem is the parentheses. People will multiply first 2 times 3 because of the parentheses. Take note, the parentheses, bracket, braces are all grouping symbols. In this line 2, 6 divided by 2, parentheses 3, that is now a multiplication, not a grouping symbol. Again, I want to emphasize 6 divided by 2, parentheses 3, doesn't involve any grouping symbol, but a multiplication. So this problem is the same thing as 6 divided by 2 times 3. So since we only have two operations, division and times, we need to do from left to right. So we need to divide first 6 divided by 2, which is 3, and then 3 times 3, that gives us an answer of 9. Okay? So the answer to this is 9, not 1. I know a lot of you put the answer as 1 because you think the parenthesis 3 is still a grouping symbol. So make sure you don't confuse yourself with the grouping symbol, the parenthesis as a grouping symbol, and parentheses as a multiplication. All right, the first person who got the correct answer is, there's a lot of you who participated, so I'll see. I hope I got it right. I think the first person who got the answer 9 is Marian Tapiro. Marian Tapiro got an answer of 9, and we have also a lot of teachers who got the answer of 9. Here's our next question. Give it a try again. I'll give you 1 minute to solve this problem. What is the correct answer to this expression? 7 plus 7 divided by 7 plus 7 times 7 minus 7. Begin. If you got the question incorrectly, that's okay. Thank you for trying. That's why I always emphasize with my kids, we celebrate mistake and we learn from those mistakes. Shout out also to the math teachers at, I think it's Placer 1 District, Surigao Norte. Shout out to all the math teachers from Surigao del Norte. Thank you for tuning in our webinars. We have more questions in math. We also have some questions in trigonometry as well. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of answers now. I think it's time for us to reveal the right answer. The first 3, I'm gonna announce the first 3 who got the right answer is Ariel Dib again. I think for the second time, your answer is 50. Samuel also 50, and Rosh 50. But Ariel typed the first correct answer, and the answer is 50. So here's the explanation. This is another numerical expression problem, dividing the internet. What do you think is the answer to the numerical expression 7 plus 7 divided by 7 plus 7 times 7 minus 7? In simplifying numerical expressions, we need to follow the following order of operations. First, simplify any grouping symbols, including parentheses and brackets. Next, we need to simplify the exponents. Then we need to multiply and divide from left to right. And lastly, we need to do addition and subtraction from left to right as well. In these numerical expressions, there are no grouping symbols like parentheses or brackets, and also there are no exponents. So this means we will begin first with multiplication and division from left to right. So we will simplify first the division. So we have 7 divided by 7 and 7 times 7. We need to simplify this expression from left to right. So first we need to simplify 7 divided by 7, which is 1, and 7 times 7 is 49. Now we will rewrite the other numbers. So we have 7 plus 1 plus 49 minus 7. Since the new expression only involves addition and subtraction, all we need to do is simplify the expression from left to right. 7 plus 1 is 8, and then we need to add 49 from it and then subtract 7. So 8 plus 49 is 57, take away 7. So the final answer is 50. All right, so the answer to that question is again 50. Before we move on to the question number 4, I'd like to give shout out to the teachers from Libuak National High School from Surigao City. Thank you for watching, Mary Ann Hinautan. Okay, so again, thank you for participating. Also, I really appreciate if you guys could please like this video, and also if you could share this video to your social media account so we can reach out to your friends and whether they're teachers or students. I hope that this will be a help to them as well. So again, please like this live streaming and also share if you could. Here's our next question. 6 squared divided by 2 times 3 plus 4. Begin. Make sure that you are really using the order of operations in simplifying numerical expressions like this. Again, make sure you simplify first the grouping symbols, and then multiplying or dividing from left to right, and lastly, adding and subtracting from left to right as well. Shout out also to Placer Central Elementary School. Hello to the math teachers of Placer Central. I think this is from Surigao as well. Thank you, Merlita, for watching from Davao City. Please type your answers in the comment section at this time. We have a lot of, most of you get this right now. That's good. "15 more seconds. Please type your answers in the comment section at this time. All right, let's reveal the first 3. The first 3 again, who got the right answer. All right, the first person again who got the right answer is Ariel Dibdib. He's really, I think 3rd time that he got the first right answer. So Ariel Dibdib, we also have Emily 2nd, and Samuel, I think you're the 3rd place. So congratulations, thank you for participating. And even if you missed this problem, it's okay, and we're gonna learn from those mistakes. So in this problem, the first thing that we need to do is there's no grouping symbol. So we need to do first 6 to the 2nd power. And of course, when you do 6 to the 2nd power, make sure you do 6 times 6, not 6 times 2. Okay, that's a common error also. 6 squared is not 6 times 2, but 6 times 6. So that's 36. And then 2 times 3 is 6. So that's why we have 36 divided by 6 plus 4. Now, since we have 2 operations, division and addition, then we will simplify first the division. So 36 divided by 6 is 6, and then we add 4 to it. So the answer is 10. Okay, so again, the answer to this question is 10. Before we continue to the next problem, I'm going to give shout out again to Iligan City East National High School Division. Thank you for watching, Marlene Aguinid. All right, here's our next question. 8 divided by 2 plus 2. Start. While you're answering that, I'm going to respond to some of the questions from our viewers. The question from Lane Sergani, what do you use in presenting the video? So I'm assuming you mean the live streaming, right? For the live streaming, I am using StreamYard. And when creating videos, when creating math videos, I use the iMovie at the same time the Notability app. So that way I can easily write on my iPad. All right, so please type your answers in the comment section. This is also a very controversial question. This, I think, 2 years ago, this question went viral because people are getting this question wrong. So again, it's a simple question, but people misuse the order of operations when simplifying this. So if you have your answers now to the question, please type in the comment section. 8 divided by 2 times the quantity 2 plus 2. All right, so our audience are watching, and I see that you guys are using now the order of operations because most of you are typing the right answer for this question. So a round of applause to all of you guys. Thank you for participating. And again, it's okay if you get this problem wrong. And now let's reveal the first person who got the correct answer. And that we have many responses. So thank you for participating. The first person who got this right is Christine Castro. Christine Castro's answer is 16. Roche San Diego, second to get the right answer. And the third one is Hermi Suazo, 16. The right answer is 16 to this problem. It's again controversial because 50% will give an answer of 1 and 50% will give an answer of 16. But the answer to this is 16. So in simplifying this question, the first thing that you need to do again is 2 plus 2, which is 4. And then you need to do 8 divided by 2, which is 4. And then 4 plus 4, that gives you 16. Again, make sure you simplify first 2 plus 2, which is 4. So now we have 8 divided by 2 times 4. So using the order of operations, you need to do first 8 divided by 2, which is 4, and then 4 times 4, that gives you 16. Okay, so the answer to that is 16. Here's our question number 6. 9 minus 3 divided by 1/3 plus 1. Prita, I think Prita Lawrence also got the right answer, 16. Yeah, I didn't see that, but I think you got the first right answer. So thank you for participating. Prita Lawrence, the answer is 16. Also, I'd like to give shout out to our teachers from Laho Integrated School from Davao City. Thank you for watching. If you have an answer to this question, please type your answers now in the comment section. All right, let's see. 15 more seconds. Nine minus 3 divided by 1/3 plus 1. So here you also need to apply your knowledge on dividing fractions. All right, let's reveal the first person who got the correct answer. And the correct answer to this problem is 1. So the first 3 who got the right answer is, I hope I got it right, Roche San Diego, Glenn Gambi, and Ariel Dibdib. The first one who posted the correct answer is Ariel Dibdib. Okay, so again, the answer is 1. And here's the explanation to this question. This is another numerical expression problem dividing the internet. What do you think is the correct answer to this numerical expression? 9 minus 3 divided by 1/3 plus 1. In simplifying numerical expressions, we need to follow the following order of operations. First, simplify any grouping symbols, including parentheses and brackets. Next, we need to simplify the exponents. Then we need to multiply and divide from left to right. And lastly, we need to do addition and subtraction from left to right as well. Simplifying numerical expression is not a difficult topic at all in mathematics. But people are always having debate on what is the right answer to the expressions. It is extremely important to follow the order of operations in getting the right answer. This type of questions is not based on how you interpret the expression. So what do you think is the answer to this problem? The given numerical expression is 9 minus 3 divided by 1/3 plus 1. There are no grouping symbols like parentheses or brackets. There's no exponents as well. So which one you think we need to simplify first? In this expression, we need to simplify first the division. 3 divided by 1/3. And 3 divided by 1/3, of course, is equal to 9. To show the work for that, 3 divided by 1/3 is the same thing as 3 times the reciprocal of 1/3, which is 3 over 1. So the answer is 3 times 3, 9. 9 divided by 1 is 9. So now we will replace 3 divided by 1/3 by that answer 9. So we have 9 minus 9 plus 1. Since the expression only involves addition and subtraction, you need to simplify this expression from left to right. Some are interpreting the order of operations as addition first before subtraction. That's not true. Simplifying this from left to right, we need to do first 9 minus 9, which is 0, and then plus 1. So the answer to this problem is 1. All right, so looks like I missed again our second person who got the right answer. So Degen 10, I think you were the second person who typed the first right answer. So congratulations and thank you for participating. Again, if you have not subscribed yet to my channel, please support Celzo Academy by subscribing now. And also please click the bell button so that way you get updates for my latest videos as well. Okay, so thank you for participating. And here's our question number 7. 48 divided by 2 times 9 plus 3. I want to give, while you're working on that question number 7, I want to give shout out to the teachers, to all teachers and math teachers of Colawin National High School, Argao, Cebu. Thank you for watching. Ariel Dibdib, you're having fun answering the math questions. So thank you for participating. Raniel Iana, very informative webinar. Thank you for watching. Teacher Flor Cedino, thank you for watching as well. Question number 5 is really debatable. A lot of people says it's 1, a lot of people says it's 16, but we strictly use the order of operations. It has to be 16. All right, please type your answers in the comment section now for question number 7. Thank you for your comment. Lean Ismail, thank you very much, sir, for this interactive and engaging review. All right, now let's reveal the first person who got the right answer. Okay, so I think the first three who got the right answers are Marcel Pacquiao, Mohammed Hassan, and Christine Castro. But I think Christine Castro is the first person who typed the first answer. Okay, the answer to this question is 288. So the same thing, the first thing that we need to do here is simplify the expression 9 plus 3, which is of course 12. So now we have 48 divided by 2 times 12. Here's the common error again. People will multiply first 12 times 2, which is wrong. The parenthesis now here in this second line is not a grouping symbol, but a multiplication sign. So now we need to divide first 48 by 2, and then we multiply by 12. So 48 divided by 2 is, of course, 24, and then 24 times 12, that gives us 288. Again, the common misconception for this type of question is that people will multiply first 12 times 2, and then they divide 48 by 24. That's incorrect because this parenthesis here is not a grouping symbol, but a multiplication sign. So if you have division and times, you need to do first division before the multiplication. Okay? So the answer to that question is 288. Degen 10, looks like Degen 10 again. Looks like I didn't see that you typed the first answer. Okay, but thank you for typing the first answers. Here's our next question. Before we move on to the next question, again, if you'd like to get an e-certificate, make sure you take note of this attendance verification code. It's LMS 715. Again, it's LMS 715. Please take note of that. And the certificates will be posted at Celzo Academy FB page. So make sure you follow our page as well. And please join the back to school competition. It's open to both public and private schools in the Philippines. And the first prize will win 15,000 pesos. Second place, 10,000. Third place, 5,000. So make sure you visit Celzo Academy FB page for more information. All right, so that's the second set of problems involving order of operations. Now we're gonna do some questions involving distance, speed, and time. So we're gonna solve word problems. Here's our first question. Gani explores Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia through a helicopter tour for 45 minutes. If the average speed of the helicopter is 100 miles per hour, what is the total distance traveled? You have about 1 minute to solve this problem. Thank you for your comment, Merlene. Very interactive webinar. Thanks for the opportunity to be part of this event. Mariela, thank you for your comment as well. Enjoying much. Thank you so much, sir, for a lively webinar. John Ray, thank you, sir, for this interesting webinar. Ganesh Kumar, I'm really enjoying this webinar. And Annabelle, having fun solving math problems. It's, I think, fun to solve math problems together, right? All right, so please type your answers in the comment section. The question is, what is the total distance traveled? Please type your answers in the comment section if you have it now. Annalene, thank you very much for sharing with us your expertise. A very informative, interesting, and timely topic in this time of pandemic. Thank you for your positive comment. From Joseph Alar, great topics and presentation. Thank you. The question here is, what's the distance? It's not asking for the speed. So I'm seeing some answers in miles per hour. So that means those are incorrect. Okay, it has to be distance. So you can express your answer in minutes or kilometers. All right, let's reveal the answer. But before that, let's have a quick trip to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Do you know how to solve for distance given the speed and the time? That's what we're learning for today's math video tutorial. Gani explores Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia through a helicopter tour for 45 minutes. If the average speed of the helicopter is 100 miles per hour, what is the total distance traveled? Give it a try and play the video whenever you're ready for the solutions. Here's the detailed explanation to this problem. To begin with, do you know the formula for the distance? To solve for the distance d, we are simply multiplying s times t. So we have distance is equal to s times t. What about if you're solving for the speed s? What will be the equation for s? To solve for the speed, we're simply dividing the distance by the time. So distance over time. And if we're solving for the time, we're simply dividing the distance by the speed. So d over s. So the formula for the distance d is equal to speed s times the time. In this problem, the average speed is 100 miles per hour. So that's the speed. And the time is 45 minutes. So now solving for the distance, we will substitute the speed and the time. The speed is 100 miles per hour, and I will write it as 100 miles per 1 hour. Since the time is in 45 minutes, we need to convert this first into hours to match with the unit of our speed in miles per hour. Since 1 hour is 60 minutes, then we divide 45 by 60 to change it into hours. Reducing 45 over 60 into simplest fraction, we can divide both numerator and denominator by 15. So this is equal to 3 over 4. So 45 minutes is equivalent to 3/4 of an hour. And that makes sense because 1/4 of an hour is 15 minutes. So 3/4 of an hour means 15 times 3, which is 45 minutes. So again, to change minutes into hours, you're simply dividing the number of minutes by 60. Because 1 hour has 60 minutes. And then just reduce the fraction. Simplifying this further, we simply multiply the numerators 103, that's 300, and divide by 4. For the units, hour and hour can be cancelled out. So that means the unit is in terms of miles. And 300 divided by 4 is 75. So the answer is 75 miles. One mental math that you can use when multiplying 100 by 3/4 is simply divide 100 by 4, which is 25, and then you can multiply 25 times 3, which is 75. Or you can think of it as 1/4 of 100 is 25. So 3/4 is 25 times 3, which is 75. So the answer to this problem is 75 miles. Thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing to my channel at Celzo Academy. All right, so the answer to that question is 75 miles. And the first person who got it right, I think, is Mohammed Hassan. So his answer is 75. And also Ariel, I think, second person. And Siri is 40. And I think the third one is May Delgado. So those are our top 3 who typed the answers right. Before we move on to the next question, here's our next question. The next question is about speed. I'm going to give shout out as well to the teachers of Aliputos Elementary School from Division of Aklan. So hi to the teachers of, again, Aliputos Elementary School from Division of Aklan. Our next question involves solving for the speed. Again, give it a try. You have about 1 minute to solve this problem. SES Math Counts team traveled from Singapore to USA for the nationals competition. The flight took 18 hours and 30 minutes, and the plane traveled a total distance of 11,100 miles. What is the plane's average speed in miles per hour? I have been a coach of Math Counts here at SES for 4 years now. And we've competed in different countries like Singapore, Indonesia, China, US, also both in Florida and Washington. So, but this year it was canceled because of the COVID-19. All right, so try this problem and type your answers in the comment section. I want to give shout out to Annalyn Hernandez. Thank you for your comment as well. I really enjoyed this webinar. All right, so we're seeing some answers now. Please type your answers in the comment section. The question is, what is the plane's average speed? So we're solving for the speeds. I want to emphasize that solving for the distance, make sure you memorize the formula as well. Distance is speed times the time. So if you're solving for the speed, you can derive the formula also by dividing both sides by the time. All right, I see a lot of answers now. So let's reveal the answer to this question. Do you know how to solve for the speed given the distance and the time? That's what we're learning for today's math video tutorial. SES Math Counts team traveled from Singapore to USA for the nationals competition. The flight took 18 hours and 30 minutes, and the plane traveled a total distance of 11,100 miles. What is the plane's average speed in miles per hour? Give it a try and play the video whenever you're ready for the solutions. Here's the detailed explanation to this problem. To begin with, do you know the formula for the distance? To solve for the distance d, we are simply multiplying s times t. So we have distance is equal to s times t. What about if you're solving for the speed s? What will be the equation for s? To solve for the speed, we're simply dividing the distance by the time. So distance over time. And if we're solving for the time, we're simply dividing the distance by the speed. So d over s. So the formula for the speed s is equal to distance d divided by the time t. In this problem, the distance is 11,100 miles. And the time is 18 hours and 30 minutes. To solve for the speed s, we simply substitute. All right. We are having issues again with internet connection here in Singapore. I don't know what's the problem for tonight. So let's continue with that question. Do you know how to solve for the speed given the distance and the time? That's what we're learning for today's math video tutorial. SES MathCon's team traveled from Singapore to USA for the nationals competition. The flight took 18 hours and 30 minutes, and the plane traveled a total distance of 11,100 miles. What is the plane's average speed in miles per hour? Give it a try and play the video whenever you're ready for the solutions. My apologies again. Tonight is not a good night when it comes to internet connection here in Singapore. I don't know if there's problem with with StreamYard, but we're gonna get back with the video, and we're gonna thank you for hanging in there. Thank you for tuning in, and we're gonna continue with that problem. So here we go. Do you know how to solve for the speed given the distance and the time? That's what we're learning for today's math video tutorial. SES MathCon's team traveled from Singapore to USA for the nationals competition. The flight took 18 hours and 30 minutes, and the plane traveled a total distance of 11,100 miles. What is the plane's average speed in miles per hour? Give it a try and play the video whenever you're ready for the solutions. Here's the detailed explanation to this problem. To begin with, do you know the formula for the distance? To solve for the distance d, we are simply multiplying s times t. So we have distance is equal to s times t. What about if we're solving for the speed s? What will be the equation for s? To solve for the speed, we're simply dividing the distance by the time. So distance over time. And if we're solving for the time, we're simply dividing the distance by the speed. So d over s. So the formula for the speed s is equal to distance d divided by the time t. In this problem, the distance is 11,100 miles. And the time is 18 hours and 30 minutes. To solve for the speed s, we simply substitute the distance, which is 11,100 miles, divided by the time, which is 18 hours and 30 minutes. And of course, 30 minutes is half an hour. So we can write the time as 18.5 hours. So simplifying this manually, we're dividing 11,100 by 18.5. And to do this, we can move the decimal point to the right, but we need to add one more zero here. Since we cannot divide 111 by 185, we will divide the 4 digits now by 185. And 185 can go into 1,110 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry 3. 6 times 8 is 48 plus 3, 11. Carry 5. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 5 is 11. So now we have 6 and then 1, 1, 1, 0. So that means that the answer is 600. So the average speed of the plane is 600 miles per hour. Thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing to my channel at Celzo Academy. All right, so thank you for staying with me. That's the reality of virtual learning, and I experienced that when we transitioned to virtual learning in March. And sometimes you will encounter some issues with internet. You need to shut down. You will have some students who can't join your class, and that's okay. Don't be frustrated when it went wrong, right? And we can adjust. I know Filipinos are very adaptive, so we can adjust to the situation. All right, so here's our next question. I'm not gonna check who got the first answer for that question because there's a lot of comments right now, but thank you for hanging in there. All right, here's our next question. This is a question. I traveled to Bintan, Indonesia. I think this was last year. So give it a try. Gani tried the ATV or the all-terrain vehicle ride for the first time in Bintan, Indonesia. His average speed was only 20 kilometers per hour. How long will it take him to travel a distance of 55 kilometers per hour? Give it a try and type your answers in the comment section. And I'm going to give shout outs while you're solving that question. Thank you for still watching. Enelita Villanueva, Elizabeth Latasa, Jackie Lu Ora, Angelo de la Cruz, Gemma Purisma from Tishan's Triangle. I think we call this the Tishan's Triangle. Yes, you're correct. So thank you for that information. Hermi Suazo, thank you for watching. Jomar Siti, Inos, Nami Batala, Jomar Mandani, thank you for watching. So if you have an answer to this question, please type your answers in the comment section now. How long will it take him to travel a distance of 55 kilometers? That means we're trying to solve for the time. Fercy from Quezon City, thank you for watching. Lizelle, Mark Joseph Palatino, Elizabeth Latasa, Catalina Rigo, Mark Joseph Palatino, thank you for watching. And yes, please type your answers. It can be in hours or combination of hours and minutes. 15 seconds, and then we will reveal the answer to this question. All right, I'm seeing a lot of responses now. The correct answer is 2.75 hours, or that's 2 and 3/4 hours, or that's 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I think the first person who got it right is Angelo de la Cruz. And then we have Glenn Gambi and Emily Montuya as well. So thank you for those answers. But I think, again, Angelo de la Cruz got the first answer. Do you know how to solve for the time given the distance and the speed? That's what we're learning for today's math video tutorial. Gani tried the ATV ride for the first time in Bintan, Indonesia. His average speed was only 20 kilometers per hour. How long will it take him to travel a distance of 55 kilometers? Give it a try and play the video whenever you're ready for the solutions. Here's the detailed explanation to this problem. To begin with, do you know the formula for the distance? To solve for the distance d, we are simply multiplying s times t. So we have distance is equal to s times t. What about if you're solving for the speed s? What will be the equation for s? To solve for the speed, we're simply dividing the distance by the time. So distance over time. And if we're solving for the time, we're simply dividing the distance by the speed. So d over s. The problem is asking how long will it take him to travel a distance of 55 kilometers. This means that we're solving for the time t. The formula in solving for the time t is equal to distance d divided by the speed s. In this problem, the distance is 55 kilometers. And the average speed was 20 kilometers per hour. So divide by 20 kilometers per hour. Now let's simplify 55 divided by 20. 55 over 20 in mixed number is 2 and 15 over 20. Because 20 can go into 55 two times, and there's a remainder of 15. So 2 and 15 over 20. Kilometers and kilometers can be cancelled out, so the unit now for the time is hours. Simplifying this further, 15 over 20 in simplest fraction is 3/4, because 15 and 20 can be divided by 5. So that's the same thing as 2 and 3/4 of an hour, or the same thing as 2.75 hours. Since we know that 1/4 of an hour is 15 minutes, then 3/4 of an hour is 45 minutes. So Garnet tried the ATV ride for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing to my channel at Celzo Academy. All right, so thank you for participating. I know I missed again with the first person. I think the second person, there was a comment regarding the second person. But thank you for participating. Whether you're first, second, or third, I really appreciate that you are participating in this webinar. There are also people asking for the verification code. Again, the verification code is LMS 715. Please take note of this code. If you're interested to get the e-certificates, this is available at Celzo Academy FB page. And we're down to the last problem because we are having some issues with internet. So we're going to finish with the last question. And the last question is about trigonometry questions. So I hope we have some math teachers here who know how to do word problems involving trigonometric ratios. Are you ready for this? Okay, so here's but before that, this question is about angle of elevation and angle of depression. So when we say angle of elevation, this is the angle between the horizontal line and the line of sight. So this is called the angle of elevation. On the other hand, the angle of depression is the angle between the horizontal line and the line of sight, meaning from the upper view, you're looking at the lower view. So this is the angle of depression. And of course, for the trigonometric ratio, make sure you know how to use the SOHCAHTOA. Okay, it's again SOHCAHTOA. Before we begin with the first question, let's have a quick trip first to California, USA. For this video tutorial to be effective, I will be using this format. First, I will flash each question for about 10 seconds, and you may pause the video whenever you want to give yourself time to try out each question. And finally, I will explain each question, and I'll give you some tips and strategies on how to solve each question. Are you ready? Here we go. All right, so here's the question. Gani explores Los Angeles helicopter tour and sights Santa Monica Pier Amusement Park. The angle of depression is 28 degrees and the helicopter's altitude is 2.5 kilometers. Draw a figure to represent the situation and what's the horizontal distance from the helicopter to Santa Monica Pier. All right, give it a try. Maybe about 1 minute or 2 minutes to try this problem. If you're a math teacher, please try this. I know it's difficult if you're not a math teacher. But still, I'd like you to give it a try. Thank you for watching, Maria Anus Silbor. He said, I'm not a math teacher, but I'm enjoying this webinar. Thank you for your comment. More power and God bless from Berenia. Again, the code is LMS 715. Thank you, Ariel, for reminding me to announce that. All right, looks like we have the first person who got the right answer. Let's see. Keep typing your answers. What's the horizontal distance from the helicopter to Santa Monica Pier? I'm gonna give the answer explanation in about 30 seconds. Thank you for watching, Maria Fe Agag, Cherry Balukay, Christine Castro. Thank you for typing the first answer. Lizelle, Angelo de la Cruz, thank you. Are you guys math teachers? Angelo, Lizelle, Christine, Christy Rayonier. So we're seeing some answers now. It's a good way to refresh your memory on trigonometric ratios, right? Right, so please continue typing your answers. And here's the explanation to this problem. Question number 1. Gani explores Los Angeles helicopter tour and sights Santa Monica Pier Amusement Park. The angle of depression is 28 degrees and the helicopter's altitude is 2.5 kilometers. A. Draw a figure to represent the situation. And B. What is the horizontal distance from the helicopter to Santa Monica Pier? To draw a figure to represent the situation, let's assume that this point H is where the helicopter is, and point S here is the Santa Monica Pier. The angle of depression is the angle between a horizontal line from the observer and the line of sight to an object that is below the horizontal line. Connecting point H to point S, that is referred to as the line of sight. And if we draw a horizontal line, this angle formed by the horizontal line and the line of sight is what we call the angle of depression. And the angle of depression here is 28 degrees. The problem also stated that the helicopter's altitude is 2.5 kilometers. So from point H, we can draw a vertical line, and that will form a 90-degree angle with the horizontal. Since the angle of depression is 28 degrees, this means that angle S here is also 28 degrees by using the alternate interior angle theorem. Another given is the height of the helicopter, which is 2.5 kilometers. Letter B. What is the horizontal distance from the helicopter to Santa Monica Pier? So this means we need to find this horizontal distance x. To solve for x, or the horizontal distance, we need to set up an equation. And for we to do that, we need to use the trigonometric ratio to set up an equation. In reference to the 28-degree angle, x here is the adjacent side, and 2.5 kilometers is the opposite side. So the trigonometric ratio that deals with opposite and adjacent is tangent. So now let's set up the equation using tangent ratio. So we have tangent 28 degrees is equal to opposite, which is 2.5 kilometers, and adjacent is unknown, which is x. For the left side, we can write down over 1, and then we can cross multiply. So this is same thing as x times tangent 28 is equal to 2.5. Solving for x, we now divide both sides by tangent 28 degrees. And this means tangent 28 divided by tangent 28 is 1. So x now is equal to 2.5 divided by tangent 28. Using your calculator, we can now solve for the value for x, which is 2.5 divided by tangent 28 degrees. So the horizontal distance x is 4.70 kilometers. Question number 2. JR sees a helicopter. All right, so thank you for watching. And that's the last problem that we have for tonight. We are still having issues with internet, but thank you for participating. Again, the code for this webinar is LMS 715. LMS 715. So that's the last problem that we have for tonight. Again, our learning target is to go over some learning management system that I've mentioned. We have the Google Classroom, Khan Academy, and Zoom that I use for the virtual learning. And we also did some math question problems involving pre-algebra, algebra, geometry, and trigonometry as well. So since I teach here in Singapore, serving students from more than 50 countries, they come from more than 50 countries. Every time I travel, I create math questions, and I use these math problems to supplement the lessons that I do with my students. So again, with that, thank you so much for participating, and make sure that you complete the feedback form. And for the upcoming webinars, we have guests from Kazakhstan, from China, from California, USA, and from Arizona, USA. So I hope that you register as well. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. And I hope to see you again in our next webinar. Have a great night, everyone.